But I'm here really primarily to say thank you. To say thank you to those men and women who serve in our community as first responders and as police officers and as safety officials. They get called different things in different communities, but the sentiment is the same. It's about service. And these are people who at oftentimes an early age decided that they were going to serve their community in a unique way. And we are just here to celebrate them, aren't we?
Good.
That's why we're here. Now, we had a great speech prepared and all those kinds of things. I kind of threw that aside. I tend to do better when I just get a sense of the vibe of what's going on. And I've got a couple of things that I want to touch base on. But, you know, one of those things, and you've seen the media around, and I'm glad they're here. I'm glad they're here watching us say thank you to these folks. But one of their questions is how do you sort of address what's happening in the social unrest in society? And one of the things that I said is we can still be for social justice and equality and fairness and freedom and support the police. Right? And just because you were at another demonstration, which may have slid into a riot, doesn't mean you shouldn't support the police. Because those folks may be well-intentioned, but we know that there's some bad apples, right? And I got to tell you, I talked to a lot of police officers, federal, state, local, after that George Floyd video came to light. And there was not a single law enforcement official that I talked to, from somebody in a road patrol all the way to chiefs of police, that wasn't sickened by what they saw. But guess what? There is not a single reason that we should then defund the rest of the entire organization because of one bad thing. It'd be like saying, well, we have a bad teacher in that school, so we're going to pull all the funding for education. Does that make sense? No, of course not, right? Trust me, in my profession, I know a thing or two about bad apples and how they give everybody a bad name, right? And I'm tired. There is nobody that's more frustrated with a bad cop than the good cops.
No doubt.
We're here to support the good cops, aren't we? Well, we've got a lot of work to do, right? We're across the street from City Hall here. I see my friend Mary Whiteford, who's the state rep, and Roger Victory, who's the state senator here in the area. I'm not sure if Brad Slaw and some others are around as well. But these are folks that are going to Lansing to tell the story about how we are getting protected and how we are saying thank you to these folks. I'm trying to do that at the federal level. I'm not going to turn this into a political rally, as much as things have. I'm not going to do that. But I am telling you, and I'm praying that you do this. Take a look at the people you are voting for and what they stand for. Who do they support?
Good.
Right?
Good.
Whether it's our military, whether it's our men and women in blue, whatever it might be. Because you may have noticed it's an election year. It's a little strange out there. So trust me, I've lived through a lot of election years. Election years are weird anyway. Well, this is the weirdest. And we know that this is just a representation of all of the support in this community. And we've got to make sure that we as fellow citizens are going out and having our voice heard. Are you with me on that? Are you going to have your voice heard? A little louder. Are you going to have your voice heard? There we go. There we go. Well, I also want to take a second just to say thank you not only to those serving in uniform, but to those who support those serving in uniform. The spouses, the parents, the brothers, the sisters, who, frankly, may not see their loved one again after a shift. And we just had an example of that not too long ago, just a couple of weeks ago. Trooper Starr was on patrol in Ionia County, and a drunk driver at 10 o'clock at night crossed the center line, and he lost his life in the line of service. We know just north of here in Grand Haven, on the boulevard as you're going into town, there's a great little memorial to Scott Flahive, who was a police officer who was gunned down in the line of duty. And shortly after I was elected in Walker, Travis Slott, who was a Walker Police Department police officer, was shot as two bank robbers were trying to escape. And he was out throwing out the spikes onto the road. So whether they lose their life or they may get injured, this is a dangerous line of work. And we should not be trying to defund them. We should be trying to defend them. Don't you think? Well, this is a great turnout, and I'm glad that we are out here as a community. Yeah. And this community has so much to be thankful for. And as the pastor was talking about, it's those men and women who served not just in the blue uniform now, but in those fatigues earlier. Right. By the way, I'm very glad for this Marine down here. I think he's a one-man protection detail right there. Marines are usually about 5'2". You're like about 6'4". I don't know where you came from. I'm the product of a disabled World War II veteran. That greatest generation has slipped by, and they are in the process of slipping by. It's now our turn, right? It's our turn to step in and fill that gap that the greatest generation created, and as we're losing. So let's be better, folks. We need to be better as a society. We know that equality and justice and freedom isn't perfect. Trust me, I'm a Calvinist. I understand why. The nature of man, right? But that doesn't mean we don't pursue it. And we're here to pursue that. And we are here, though, to say thank you, first and foremost, to those men and women. And I want to know if we're not going to get the we met and the undercover guys, but I know that there's a lot of police officers off duty, and I hope you're going by, whether it's the farmer's market or somewhere else, and you're giving them a honk and a thumbs up on the way as you're seeing it today. But if you are in uniform or serve in uniform, would you just raise your hand, please? There we go. We got a few. Yep, we got them. This is for you. This is for you. And it's okay, I know a couple of you guys aren't raising your hand, but that's all right. That's all right. How about this? How about if you're a family member of someone who serves, how about you raise your hand? Now we got a lot. Now we got a lot. Well, you go give your friend, your loved one, your son, your daughter, your brother, your sister, or your mom or dad a hug. And you tell them that we're with them. We're behind them, and we're not going to go anywhere. You can count on us. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. We'll see you again soon.